I want to focus on some steps toward walking toward freedom and wholeness. My good friend Jen Oakes and I helped our buddy Keith Rappolt write his story in a book that's called Just Breathe. And you really ought to read his story sometime. It's a remarkable journey of a guy who was in the grip of all kinds of addictions and hopelessness to walking in freedom that he does today. The book would inspire you, give you hope, and some practical steps to take. And in the book, we use the word breathe as a kind of an acrostic to outline some proactive things that we all need to do, all of us need to do, in order to breathe deeply and start to walk free. And I'd just like to share those with you quickly today, and I'm praying that they will perhaps give you like a framework to maybe start your recovery and your walk toward freedom. The B in the word breathe stands for blessed are the broken. Brokenness is where it starts. You know, when Jesus started this ministry, one of the first things out of his mouth was this: blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are those who recognize their spiritual poverty. Blessed are those who are busted, who know that they are destitute. Blessed are the broken. And I'm learning that freedom begins by the admission of, you know what, things are not okay. My life has become unmanageable. I need some help. There's a story over in John chapter 5, the New Testament of the Bible, where Jesus meets a guy who is physically broken. He'd been an invalid for 38 years. And Jesus' heart is filled with compassion for this guy. And it really is a cool story of healing and hope and new beginnings. But this story contains one of the most important questions for life and recovery. Before Jesus even touches the man, he asks him this: do you want to get well? Do you want to get well? When I first read that story, I thought, okay, that's kind of a dumb question. Of course the guy wants to get well. But after years of my own stubborn refusal to change, and after years of working with all kinds of people who are living in denial, I've discovered that's not a stupid question. It's actually one of the most important questions we can ask ourselves. Sure, we might be miserable, we might be tired, we might be sick. We know we have a problem. We know something has a grip on us. We know that things are out of control, but do we really want to get well? Freedom begins with an admission of brokenness. It's coming to God saying, I am broken. I am busted. I need help. You know what, Jesus? I do want to get well. And the good news is he has the power to help, plus he really wants to. I love what Paul writes in 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 9 from the Living Bible. It says, we felt we were doomed to die and saw how powerless we were to help ourselves. But that was good. That was good. For then we put everything into the hands of God, who alone could save us. There's good news. There is a way out. There's power in powerlessness. When you and I humble ourselves and admit our weakness, then God's strength has permission to begin to flow through us and help us break through the surface and start to breathe. He alone has the power to help us walk free. And you know what? There's only one thing in the universe, the whole universe, stronger than the power of God. You know what that is? His desire to help you. His desire to love you, heal you, pull you out, and lead you. Bill W., one of the founders of AA, referring to his and others' miraculous relief from alcoholism, once wrote, we found that God could and would if he were sought. We found that God could and would if he were sought. Now, if it's true, as millions of recovering addicts can attest, then isn't it also possible that God can't and won't if he's not? And it's why Jesus asked, do you want to get well? The surrender of our will to the will and supernatural power of God, that's the pathway to freedom. As long as we live in denial of a problem, as long as we try to work the whole image management thing, pretending that everything's fine really, as long as we try to hang on to our pride and fix things by ourselves, as long as we try to excuse and rationalize our behavior, as long as we are content to live in that spin cycle of fail, guilt, shame, hate yourself, hide, promise, try harder, fail, guilt. As long as we don't really want to get well, we're going to lack the power to change. The power lies in the admission of powerlessness. Blessed are the broken.